So we've seen that when there is a changing magnetic field inside a conducting loop, a current is induced in that loop. This is known as electromagnetic induction. This was discovered independently by Michael Faraday in 1831 and Joseph Henry in 1832. So when he made this discovery, Faraday was conducting an experiment with a setup somewhat similar to this one. He had an iron ring with 2 coils of wire wrapped around it. He found that when he connected one of the coils of wire to a battery, starting a current flowing through it, there was a current measured in the second coil, which was not connected to the battery. Faraday observed that this current was only measured as the battery was turned on or turned off. There was no current measured in the second coil once the current in the first coil had been flowing for some time. So he reasoned that it must be the changing magnetic flux through the second coil, and he reasoned that that flux was flowing through that iron core, which was inducing the current to flow. So Faraday's law can be written as the induced EMF, which we can write with this curly E symbol. So we now know that EMF, which stands for electromotive force, isn't actually a force, rather it is a voltage. But it's written as the curly E is equal to minus N d phi b dt. So in this equation, N stands for the number of turns in the coil. Phi b is the magnetic flux. So d phi b dt is the rate at which the magnetic flux is changing. And the negative sign is really important. It actually has its own name. It's known as Lenz's law after the physicist Emil Lenz, who also did experiments with induction. So what the negative sign tells us is that the induced EMF opposes the change that induces it. Now, this is actually required by our law of conservation of energy. Let's do a proof by contradiction now. Imagine that we were moving a magnet towards a coil of wire. Now, we know that as we move the magnet towards the coil of wire, there's going to be a changing magnetic flux through that coil, and so we will get a current induced. And if we get a current induced in it, then we've got a coil of wire with a current flowing through it, which is a solenoid, so that coil of wire is also going to act as a magnet. Now let's suppose that it does not oppose the change that induces it. So as we move a north pole towards this coil of wire, we get a south pole induced on the side closest to this magnet. So that south pole then attracts the north pole of the magnet because they're opposite magnetic poles. And so that causes the magnet to accelerate towards that coil of wire. Now, as the magnet accelerates towards the coil of wire, it's going to cause that magnetic flux to change more quickly, and so we're going to get either more current induced in that coil, and so the south pole is going to become stronger, which is going to suck the magnet towards it even faster. So hopefully you can see that this is going to be absolutely ridiculous, because we could start that magnet moving towards the coil very slowly, and then it's going to get faster and faster and faster as that force increases, and so we will effectively be getting energy from nothing. So this can't happen. When we move a magnet towards a coil, it must induce a pole which opposes that change. So we get a north pole induced closest to the north pole when we move the north pole of a magnet towards that coil. So let's have a look at a demonstration which clearly shows this now. So what I've got here is a metal conducting ring and then another metal conducting ring but with a slit cut out of it. Now I want you to predict what's going to happen as I move a magnet towards and away from these two rings. So make your prediction now.